Welcome to Mesa Family History. In this lesson, we're going to be learning about how to navigate FamilySearch. This is the page that you would land on as soon as you sign into FamilySearch. And we're going to be discussing this toolbar across the top and then going in to talk about the family tree. Before I do that, I want to make a short note. I am not actually in FamilySearch.org. I am in a site called beta.familysearch.org. This is a sister site to FamilySearch that is used as a practice site where we can go in and create lessons, we can add and delete people, merge people, and it won't actually affect our records on the real FamilySearch.org program. Anybody can use this site. As long as you have a username and password to FamilySearch.org, you can go in and practice in beta.familysearch.org. And since I have altered some of the things about my family so I can use it as a lesson, I've come into beta.familysearch.org. To begin with, I wanted to talk about the toolbar across the top here. This is for the global site of FamilySearch.org. This is not for the tree specifically, but for everything under this umbrella of FamilySearch.org. The first tab or button is the home button, and if I click on this, it will bring me back to this page. If I click on Family Tree, this will take me into the actual family tree. If I click on search and go in here, I can search all of those digitized and indexed records that is held by FamilySearch, such as marriage records and death records. If I click on memories and go into here, I can see all of the photos and the documents and the audios that I have uploaded to FamilySearch. If I go into indexing, I can go in and do indexing from this tab. If I click on activities, I can go in and see all these wonderful activities that FamilySearch has shown us for doing with our families or as an individual with temple and family history work. And the final tab here is my temple tab. And this actually is everything having to do with my temple work specifically. And it is actually specific to the family tree, but they have it up here on this global button. Over here on the right is the help button. If you click on Help Center, you can go in and you can get help from FamilySearch.org by calling them or contacting them, or you can search for articles or lessons that they have up. Coming down here to Helper Resources, this is a phenomenal place for Temple and Family History consultants and Temple and Family History leaders to go to learn about their calling. Anybody else can go in here if they would like, but it is specific to those individuals. Up here are messages that are for FamilySearch and individuals that you may be contacting. This actually opened in a new tab up here, so I'm going to close that. Now what I want to do is actually go into the family tree. So we will click on this and click on tree. Now that I'm in the tree, you will see that I have a second toolbar down here. This toolbar is specific to the family tree, whereas this information up here had to do more with the global family search site aside from the temple. The temple one does have to do with what you have added to the family tree down here. Now, tree and person are just different ways of going in and looking at individuals, either on their tree or as a person on their person page. The Recents tab up here is a tab I use all the time. The first person up here is always the person who has signed in. So in this case, it's me. And this becomes my home button for my family tree. So if I ever want to get back to me as a starting point, I come right here. I can click on the pedigree to get into a pedigree view, or I can click on my name to get into my person view. The other individuals here are the last 50 people I have visited. I can just scroll through here, or I can enter a name or an ID up here on the top. Find refers to finding people within the family tree. This is not finding records such as marriage or death records, but finding people. Up here on search, this is searching records such as marriage and death records. So these two get confused frequently, but when you're in the family tree and we're looking for people, you want to use find. This following is actually listed. It actually says list on FamilySearch.org. They may update it to say following. I'm not entirely sure, but it has the same effect as the word list, and I'll explain that in a little bit. My contributions right now is only on beta.familysearch.org and on the Family Tree app. And what this does is it shows you, I'm going to open this in a new tab, everything that you have actually contributed or changed in Family Tree. So it shows you your different stats here with the sources and the memories and the people. And it will also show you all the private people you have added. So this can be a wonderful tab. Hopefully it will come to FamilySearch.org soon, but if not, you can access it on the phone. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go in and actually look at my grandfather down here. Actually, before I do that, let me just show up here. On the left-hand side, we have a few navigational tools. You have your plus and your minus to zoom in and out. You have your landscape view or your portrait view, fan chart or descendancy view. If you have not gone in and looked at fan chart, I highly recommend you do that. It's a great place to go in and look around. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to my grandfather here, Orson Pratt Lane, and we're going to go into his person page. You can see the toolbars have remained the same up here at the top. It's just changed everything below this. Let me go ahead and get rid of this right here. This is where I could come in and add his portrait. I actually kind of look at this page as like Facebook for dead people, because this is a place where it's very similar to Facebook, where you just go in and you learn about the person and you can add and modify about them. If I wanted to add a portrait, I just click right here and follow the prompts. Over here on the right-hand side, if I clicked on View Tree, I could view his tree just as I was looking at my tree. Follow, if I check this, then up here under following, or it says lists in FamilySearch.org, and it says watch down here, I can have a list of everybody I have checked, which allows me to go back in and quickly find them. Or I can click on View My Relationship, which was a wonderful tool. I can pull this down and I can see how I'm related to this individual, and it will actually tell me right up here that he is my grandfather. So as I come down into his page, we have a toolbar across the top here. We have our details page, which is what we'll look at in just a moment. We have a timeline where we could look at the timeline on this individual. It shows lots of fun things, especially on the phone app. The sources refers to everything that has been added to document with a source, such as a marriage record, a death record, a birth record. These are kind of like endnotes or footnotes on a research paper, proofs that this person actually existed. Collaborate is a place where we could leave notes and other people could comment on them. Memories is a wonderful place where you can upload photos, stories, documents, and audio about this individual. And ordinances is an absolutely vital area if you are a member, where you can go in and see what ordinances have been completed, or you might be able to even request ordinances, which I would be able to do on this individual if I chose to, and I would just follow that prompt there. So now I'm going to come back to details. In here, we have a life sketch area that we could write about him just briefly. This is the vitals. Anywhere you see a blue edit button, you can go in and edit anything. This is his name. This is his sex, his birth, christening, death, and burial date. If I scroll down, this is the other information, and it might hold alternate names. Pretty much you just click on the add information and you can decide what kind of information. It'll have residences. My mother lived approximately 50 places in her life, and so those residences are all listed here. Down here on the left are the family members. So this is my grandfather's first marriage to a fictional first wife. And I put this in here so you could see that this is the first family unit with the children down here. And this is the second family unit with the children. And I can click the down arrow and see these children here. Now, this is my grandmother, Nadine Tenney, and I actually want her to be the preferred spouse. So I'm going to click on this because Jane Doe doesn't actually even exist. But I wanted you to see these two family units. Over here on the right-hand side are my grandfather's parents. Now, he is in black and everybody else is in blue. The black also helps you, it kind of helps you realize, okay, I'm still on Orson Pratt Lane's page. But anybody who is in blue, you can click through into their page. So these are his parents. And this is his brother and his sister. So the siblings are listed over here on the right under the parents. Now, if I go up over here on the right-hand side, we have research helps. This shows missing standardized marriage date. You'll see this a lot where there's an exclamation point. Sometimes it's showing that there's something wrong with the birth. It essentially indicates there's something wrong with this record and you need to fix it. In this case, I simply need to standardize the marriage date. It's not a big deal. The blue link or the blue icon says, hey, there's a record hint on this individual, meaning there is a source out there that FamilySearch has found that matches Orson Pratt Lane. In this case, it's a birth certificate, and I could go in and take a look at that, and I could add it to his record as a source. The purple icon simply says, FamilySearch has looked at your record and they think maybe there might be more information, such as the fact that his marriage to Jane Doe might have more children. So this is just an help area, and it's a wonderful help area. You could click on show all, and if there were more than 3, you could go into a page and it will show all the research helps. Under search records here, right here, let me open that. If I were to click on FamilySearch, FamilySearch would go out and search all of their digitized and indexed records that they have for Orson Pratt Lane. It would automatically autofill in all the information over here on the left and do a search. And then it would open up in a new tab and I could go search their records. And if I found some that actually belonged to him, I could add them as sources if they weren't already attached. These other areas, we can do the same thing, or these other sites, Ancestry, Find My Past, MyHeritage, and GenNet. These are considered partner sites. If you are a member of the church, you get free access to these sites, but you do have to set up an account, and we'll show how to do that in another lesson. As we scroll down, these are the latest changes. If you click Show All, you can go in and see every change that has ever been made on Orson Pratt Lane. And this can be useful if there is a problem with the account or you just want to back check something you have done, maybe even undo something you have done. This is a great place to do that. Tools. This I typically use for merging duplicates, either merging by ID or possible duplicates, or if I can delete somebody that I've entered that I want to get rid of, I would do that right here as well. Down here is where we print a pedigree, a portrait, fan chart, a family group sheet, and a family group sheet with sources. And that pretty much concludes what I wanted to show you about navigating FamilySearch and the person page. Good luck. Go and play with FamilySearch. You can't hurt it. Just enjoy the experience of being in there and learning what's there. Thank you for joining us.